Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to another podcast. I am so excited for this one because I've got my first ever guest. And I am so privileged to have Tommy Fordham, aka Tommy Mallett. Tommy is a spiritual soul, which you may or may not be aware of. And he has overcome so much diversity the past couple of years. He has really been on a roller coaster of a spiritual journey, and he has come through the other side, and it is so beautiful to witness. Tommy, today on this episode, is going to go deep with me on areas that you've never seen before. We're going to touch on aspects that no one has ever asked him. And you're going to learn not only how he has grown and how he's aspired with spirituality, but also how you can do the same. By the end of this podcast, you will feel inspired by Tommy, and you will feel like you can achieve anything, because that's the man he is. I'm privileged to call him my friend, and it's an absolute privilege to have him here. So thank you, Tommy, and enjoy, listeners.
Can we start by saying something, yeah? I have never, this sums up Katie, yeah?
Yeah,
I know listening. This is your show and you're going to lead it, but
I am listening.
I don't know many psychics who have cellulite, which is makeup coloured. Look at it.
It was white, it's now orange. And it's got lipstick on.
When Phoebe just come in, we see it down there. He's like, it just sums you up so well. We just started cracking up.
It is so me, you're right, yeah.
You look amazing though.
Thank you, so do you. You look well.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I
You
don't
need a bit
feel
more
it.
sparkle in your eyes, that's all.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming back though.
Today I feel for the first time.
You never don't look well, even when you're really stressed.
Oh, I don't know. I think we've had our ups and downs, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I've got this one feeling which I'll never forget it, and it feels so far away now. But I was sitting on the floor in my office, and I texted you and said, "Listen, we need to talk. I'm in a terrible, terrible state." And you answered the phone, and normally you would go, "Oh, come on, it's all going to be all right." But you answered the phone, and you went, "Oh no." You've lost all the sparkle in your eye. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And that there was the darkest moment of my life.
Yeah. I know, because I feel like I've literally walked every step with you, and it's hard because as a medium, you can see ahead. So I could see you're going to be okay. But it's like when you're in the thick of it, you only see the thick of it. You don't see what's ahead.
But I can see it.
You
I can see it as well at the same time.
Can I mention that, by the way?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's like you were walking through in that pain, but you needed someone to just lift you out of it temporarily.
No, because there's two stages of being psychic, yeah? There's being fully psychic, where you give everything away to spirit.
Yeah.
And then there's psychic / have to accept a little bit of reality because you want to make sure that...
Co-creation.
Do you know what I mean? It's the weirdest feeling. And it's like, it took so much for me to learn it.
Yeah.
And so many ups and downs over the last 2 years on this mad journey, which if someone told me it was going to take to get her, I probably would have said no.
No, you wouldn't. You love a challenge.
But nah, it's like, it's mad. So I've got some news, yeah, that I want to tell you. But I signed the deal and settled the case last night.
Why didn't you phone me?
Because I wanted to tell you live.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Huggy.
It's done.
Oh, the pain's over. I thought you looked very relaxed.
It's over, yeah, and that's what I was going to say to you. That's why when I come in here, the spark's not in my eyes because I am exhausted and I'm now like, boom.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I've gone through every emotion there is on the planet.
Yeah. Found peace now.
Yeah, you can see by the way I'm dressed, like I am literally a different person and literally in a trance right now. And it happened last night at 9 o'clock. 9:30 it happened.
Yeah.
And it's been happening for a week now. And yeah, we got it done and I've signed the contract. There's a few teeny bits here and there to be done, but apart from that, I'm done. I'm free.
Oh,
I've exited.
Yeah.
Completely exited, and all the cases done. There's nothing more.
Amazing.
So today is my first day of a fresh start. So what a day to start it.
Can I just say though as well, like you were a millionaire at 25. You built that brand, which is an incredible brand, and gone global. You were so proud of it and still are to this day. But what I will say is that over life and during your life, you have periods where not just you, but everyone, where your identity changes.
Yeah.
And like you can't stay in that identity.
Yeah.
And some people try and fight it. But what I love about you is you don't. You accept that actually I need to evolve. And even though you felt uncomfortable, it felt really like I could feel the pull on your heart, like the confliction with you. but you were brave enough to go, you know what? I am going to go and find what this next level is. And the thing is, I feel a little bit sorry for you in many ways, but because your purpose is very different to most people. Like, I've never, in all my years and 20 plus years of reading for people, met anyone like you.
Really?
Never. Like, the change maker energy of you, you've got almost no one to role model yourself on,
Yeah.
because you're a person that's got to lead forward. You're going to be carrying so many people and inspiring so many people in so many different ways that's a lot of pressure on someone's shoulders, and it requires new levels. And so obviously you trying to almost stay at a certain level to be committed, because you're so committed. When you're doing something, you're doing something. You don't like letting people down. But when you've got to up level and that pulls inside of you, and there's something that goes, yeah, that was that. I've done what I needed to do there. Now I'm needed over here. To have that bravery, like, I felt the confliction for you. I've got goosebumps all over. I felt the confliction in you for so long, and that power, and trying to be like even for everyone and fair for everyone. And it's just not always easy.
Yeah.
And so what you're stepping into now is incredible. But the growth and adjustment you've done, I don't think many people could have handled that.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know how I've got through it the last 2 years. Over the last 18 months, I have no idea how I've got through it. When I look back of how bad it got in certain stages, I have no idea how I've got through this.
Yeah.
Like, even to the point where I said to Ian and Phoebe yesterday, who have been next to me the whole time, like by my side,
Yeah.
and I've said to them, I had so many outbursts, uncontrollable outbursts, which fuck knows how I come out of them. I reckon I had 20 breakdowns in 1 year. But I've learnt two things, yeah? And both of them were the most important things ever. It's like, I've learnt that if you feel something's right, go for it and don't stop. And the other thing, I felt like it's never as bad as you feel and it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced it now. And like that part of my life's done, and I'm never going to speak about it ever again now. I'll speak about what I've been through.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go on and speak about just like the ins and outs and any negativity. Like, my life now is all about positivity.
Yeah.
And I've done that part of my life, and I've took the lessons for what they was, and now I'm ready to really elevate, which I haven't been. So if you look at where I've been in the last 2 years, and I've still done all right with citrine, imagine where I'm going to go now. Completely free.
I know. Like, you're just not normal on so many levels.
Really?
Because there was like, you were telling me about citrine, you got the inspiration. The next thing, less than 24 hours later, there's a mock-up version of the shoe.
Do you
And
know,
I get a
should I
little
tell
video.
the story?
Go on, tell the story. But I got a video with a mock-up version. I think I'd managed to shower and gone to bed, woke up, and you'd done a whole shoe.
You know, the mad thing is that I've realised is I'm not happy unless I'm creating things. I have to be creating. I have to have challenge. And if I don't, that's where that horrible feeling was coming from.
Yeah.
And I was on like ADHD tablets and everything, thinking that was going to be the thing that fixes me, but it wasn't. My purpose was just wrong.
Yeah.
So now I'm on no ADHD medication. I'm completely calm. And I'm not as intense as I was before. I am still intense, but not as bad as I was before. I don't feel like everything's so personal. And what I realised is I was living a life where I thought that everything that I was getting was the stuff that was going to make me happy, but there was things missing, yeah?
Yeah.
And I was getting so many signs to say that I needed to start again, but I weren't taking them. And when you get wake-up calls, they're going to keep waking you up until you actually wake up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it weren't until we lost the baby and I really started jumping back into my spiritual side, because that's always the thing that's always pulled me through when I'm in bad times.
Yeah.
And Georgia says I'm speaking to a psychic. My first thing I said to her was, we've already got psychics. Why the fuck are you talking to a new psychic? Don't speak to someone new. We can't open up to just anyone, Georgia. She was like, no, I've been introduced to a lady and I'm going to speak to her. Her name's Katie. And at the time, she wasn't taking no for an answer. So she was talking to psychics and they weren't telling her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
So she kept looking for more. And then you come along. And I'll never forget this day, yeah? I thought, well, I hope she finds out something which is going to change things. And the whole reason she took the reading was this. Because she really wanted a girl, all she wanted to be told is the baby that she lost was a boy. So she don't feel like she lost the spirit of her little girl, yeah? But I'd already seen the little boy when she lost the baby go up. I'd seen it. I watched it happen.
Yeah.
I watched him come too early and be pulled up. I see it happen, yeah? But I didn't want to get into like this too spiritual side of her. So I let her speak to her. And I was like, how did it go? And she come in, she was like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. You're going to be so successful. And at the time, I was like, I'm already successful. She's like, no, successful. You're going to be worth serious money and you're about to do this, this and this. And I was thinking, all right, another fan's come on the phone and told Georgia something and they want to meet me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. Since the last few months and all this stuff that's happened, I've not been working. So we're actually losing everything. We ain't earning everything. Things are getting bad for us and you don't even know it. So I don't know what this lady's talking about on the other end of the phone telling you that we're about to go America and smash it. Because that was 5 years ago. We're about to have it hard. Anyway, so I said, all right, fuck it. Let me have a chat with this woman. So that woman being you had a waiting list of something like 6 months and I'm not waiting for no waiting list. I was like, no, we're talking now. We need to speak. So I get on the phone to her and I'll never forget this moment because it was such a life-changing moment. I was sitting in my office. I had this calm aura in this office that I didn't have anywhere else in my life. It was this one place I could sit and really feel calm, right? I picked up the computer. You answered. I'll never forget. You just looked at me and you went, wow, you're a change maker. And I was like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. And you didn't know who I was. You knew what you knew about me, but you didn't. You knew, but you didn't know about me. It was weird. You didn't know I was spiritual. You knew that. You just thought I was. You give me a message, right? And it was sort of. You never had no connection to speaking to me. You just got on the phone to me, and it wasn't until we started speaking, we got this mad connection coming. And it was like, whoa! And from that moment, I knew that we was gonna go together for a long time. It was weird. It was like I've never had it before. Yeah. So the conversation happens about what's going on personal in my life. And I say about the money part and you're like, look, I don't think the money part's gonna really be a problem for you. You're about to go to serious money. Yeah. So you also told me that I was gonna do inspirational talks and da. And I was like, all right, well, how are we gonna do this then? And we'd been speaking already about what I do and how I tell my stories through like trainers and stuff like that. And you mentioned something with you was basically visualizing something that you had when you was a kid, yeah. And as you was talking about it, I was like, no, but how do you make it spiritual? And you was like, the answer is right in front of you. And as you said it, and I've never told you this story, and do you remember because you was zoned in?
Yeah, I remember this bit because I remember being in Clark's. Like back in the 80s when they had the shoes, the little keys in the bottom of a shoe. And I was like, what the hell am I in Clark's for? And you were there with me and Georgia was there with me. And I was like, why am I in Clark's with Georgia and Tommy? What on earth? And then there was a big shoe. So that was astral travel for anyone who doesn't know the psychic world. But carry on.
So you're talking to me about Clark's and I'm thinking, all right, Clark's. Anyway, and it was like a really dull day, yeah? It was really grey out and it was just a shit day. And you was like, I was like, well, how do we? Yeah, I'm spiritual. The cat's out of the bag now. Don't tell anyone. Like we're gelling, but how do we make this something? Like the key to success, which we're talking about, is in Clark's. That ain't for me. Like I'm not putting a key somewhere. Like this is, and we carried on. And as we was talking, you said, "Look, the answer is bang in front of you." And as you said it, the sun went through a cloud, and it just shined onto this crystal, and it was like bang. And I was like.
Yeah, because they kept saying the answer's right in front of you, but they were going, it's actually in front of him. Not like the answers are just round the corner. It's actually in front of him. Tell him it's in front of him. And I thought, well, surely this is just a screen in front of you.
There was a teddy bear in front of me. There was a key in front of me. There was that
you were looking, you were like, I don't know what's in front of me. Like you were looking, I was going, look around your computer.
It was so weird. And it was like, at the time, I didn't know too much. I didn't know too much about crystals because I'd never really practiced with them. I just knew that there was one in my office, and when the sun hit it, I thought of New York, and it made me feel like a bit warm. And I was like, this, and he's like, that's it, and I was like, this is it, innit? And he's like, yes. I was like, fuck, am I gonna do with this then? I was like, all right, sweet. we'll do something with this then. And then at the start, I was thinking about drawing a key on the bottom of a shoe and then putting some like crystal flakes in it. And then I was like, there was a shoe next to me and the crystal. I thought, all right, fuck this then. I pulled a knife out and started cutting it live, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I said, all right, we'll jump back on the call in the next few hours. Or I'll
And
text you.
I didn't think much of it then, but then literally you got a full shoe made.
I took a picture.
Yeah.
I made it myself. I went to
Yeah.
Hobbycraft, went and got the resin, put them together, and that was it. And I'll never forget on the call when I was saying to you that I had with you've guided me to somewhere now which I can't ignore. I have to now make sure that I'm gonna do something with this. It's a calling, yeah.
Yeah.
How do I actually bring this into reality? It's never been done before. It's like we're talking about putting a crystal in a shoe. No one's done this before. Where do you even find crystals? What even are crystals? What is this crystal? And I never forget then start doing the research about it and then realising what the crystal done and finding out it was citrine. It brings wealth, prosperity, abundance, creativity. It helps with mental clarity. It helps with ADHD. It gives you, it gets rid of mental block. It gives you calm. I was like, wow, this is now going to be something. And now we need to crack on with it. And I'll never forget from that day, we spoke every day until it come and I've done it fast. But the background of how the crystal got in my room is another story to tell one day, but it's even madder.
But you didn't even tell me that for ages. So we were speaking every day and guidance was coming through. You were like so connected. I didn't even know you were spiritual, didn't know anything about that. And no offense, but you don't seem the type that would have been spiritual. And it was like, you go, no, I've been spiritual for all my life. And then you said, hang on, let me just not digress. So then you said, you went, oh, I've got to tell you the story. One day on our calls, you're like, I've got to tell you the full story. And I said, I know the story, Tommy, I've walked it with you. You're like, no, the real story behind the crystal. And when you told me that, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, so the story behind the crystal is for me is mind blowing. It's because like we've gone through a trauma, so many traumas to get brought together close, yeah. And then out the back of all the traumas, we've just gone and built things that are going to help people forever.
Yeah.
For me, that is magic. Like how can I not do it?
Yeah.
So everything I've been through over the last 2 years has got purpose because it come to us for a reason. We met each other for a reason. You was drawn to me for a reason. Like, I know it sounds terrible, and you have to find the silver lining. When we lost the baby, it was so terrible, but look what was come out of it.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of work we've done and how much we can help. But cut a long story short, is that I got a psychic around my house to come and sage my house, who was a friend of mine. And I'd just lost a friend and I had been at a tree that he died, showing my respects. And it was 70 miles from my house. When I got home from that day, I felt like a horrible, like uncomfortable feeling, but it was a bit cheeky at the same time. Because I'm psychic, I knew it was a spirit in my house. Anyway, there was a big bang upstairs and I've gone upstairs and George's Prada bags are on the floor. So now I'm a bit freaked out because as much as I'm psychic, I'm not psychic like you where I can start connecting and talking to him. You tell him to slow down and shut up and things like that. I can't do that. So I've called someone to come and sage my house and get this spirit out of my house. She's turned up and she's like, the reason the Prada bag's on the floor because the guy that's just pushed him over has got a white Prada shirt on. It's your friend that just died. He's got into a car at the tree and he's come home with her.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, all right, no problem. Can you tell him to get out? She's like, yeah, no problem. Just drop him off. I'm like, look, I ain't putting spirits in my car and driving 70 miles and dropping spirits off. It's not going to happen. Forget about it. She's like, all right, fine. We'll stay here then.
Like a spiritual Uber.
You just stay here. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what, should I put your seatbelt on as well? Like, any music requests? So in the end, I've said, all right, I'm going to do it. So I've dropped this spirit off. George is in the back, Brody's in the back, my man's in the front with me, and I'm just driving along. Towards the end, I'm laughing. I'm thinking, this is so fucking weird. So I drop him off to where his resting place is, and I ring the lady and I go, done. I'm going to go and think about what just happened. It's the weirdest thing that's ever happened in my life. She's like, no problem. Just make sure you give the message to his mum. So I've never met his mum. I ain't giving a message to his mum. I'm going to give a message to his mum. I don't know her. Where am I going to find her? Like, she'll find you. Oh, drop me out. This is weird now. Stop it. So I drove down to my mum and dad about 10 minutes away down to their caravan to go and drop the baby off so I can get a bit of fresh air and think of what's just happened. They weren't in, so I've drove to the pub that I know they'd be at. And as I've walked into the pub, his widow's walked out. And she was like, oh, hello, how are you doing here? And I was like, the weirdest thing just happened to me. Like, I can't even talk about what just happened. I was like, I need to meet so-and-so's mum. And as I've said it, I got a tap on the shoulder and it was his mum.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, how come you're here? She said, I need some answers. I was like, I've got them for you. So I'll give her the answers, yeah? And this is 2 years prior to me getting the reading with you. So then after I got the reading with you, I'm looking around thinking, why is this crystal in my house? I've never bought a crystal before. I just knew that it gave me a sort of feeling. Anyway, I looked back because I used to take videos and stuff like that in my office, and it come there around the time that the psychic come around my house. So I picked up the phone and called her. I was like, yo, did you do something in my house? I was like, did you leave a crystal in my house? She's like, yeah, I left a few. I was like, what's the yellow? Like, you've left the yellow one in my thingy. She was like, yeah, that was for basically going and do the work, for going and giving the message.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely incredible.
So it was mad. So one trauma led to me going there.
Yeah.
One trauma led to me meeting you. And then in the middle of both of them, it's like something's been left in my house. And then you've highlighted me what it is and what my purpose actually was. And if it weren't for any of that, I would never have knew. Because I felt trapped for a long time in my life. And I felt like I had so much more to give. And I felt like I was stuck for so long. And it weren't until like I really started getting into the spiritual side after losing that baby, where I thought the money can't help me. I need to just really just find the meaning there. And then you come along. We had this conversation and it was just like, wow. And we've had a lot of ups and downs after it as well, because you're a messenger.
Yep.
So you're the one that gets the abuse when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and you accept that, yeah?
Yeah. Which is hard. It's been a lot of growth for me.
It's like, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Because we're having conversations and thinking there's timelines, and then we're trying to get things done, and you've held my hand through like legal stuff. You've held my hand through contracts. We've been on wild goose chases around LA.
Yeah.
And when you don't get the answers you want, which you think are going to be clear answers, I go, Katie, come on, like, what's going on? I'm starting to lose faith here. And you go, you get quite upset at me for saying it, don't you? And you say, you can't lose faith.
Yeah.
We're on to something. You can't lose faith here. And what I've learned over the last 2 years is just because the answers ain't clear in front of you, don't mean they're not there.
I literally feel like I'm a detective. And what you've just described there, you were piecing everything together like a detective. That is exactly what living a psychic life is like. You get led for the next thing. But what I loved about you was the fact that you were so open and trusting. Like, there was just something, wasn't there? Like, you just knew, and I knew I'd been sent to you, and you knew you'd been sent to me. And I was like, right, okay, I'm going to help you on this pathway. Obviously, I wasn't there to do it for you. You would do it yourself, but just guide you and give you a few little helps with the clues along the way. And that's what you've done. But it was just like, it was hard because sometimes you go, oh, am I right? Am I right? And you're convinced you're right. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. And you'd be like, oh. And you just we'd have a little bit of conflict, wouldn't we? But I think it's good, it's healthy.
But when you're in the mix of it, you don't look at it for what it is, and it's just
I know.
Like, for example, so much has happened since. Like, remember you told me I'm gonna be doing inspirational talks and things like that.
Yes.
When you're in the middle of what I've been through lately, things just go past you, and I've just realised I've been doing inspirational talks without even knowing.
Yeah. Inspire the masses.
I've been doing it. I've just sold my first events on Thursday, and I've just done 2 the last 2 weeks for someone else. So because I've been so involved in what's going on around me, I've missed other stuff which you told me was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just been mad. I'm like,
that's the thing. You've got 2 purposes, and it's hard because you're the creative. You're naturally like an artist. That's what you are. And you go into an artist energy, and you go into creation, and you're very much in that zone. And I do think, I know your ADHD you've had many battles with, but I do feel it's a superpower. I feel that entrepreneurs with ADHD soar. They do so well. And I think anyone that's suffering with it, be grateful. And I don't mean that lightly, like I don't want to be disrespectful, but it is your secret formula to success.
No, it is.
Because you can literally go laser focused.
I said to someone yesterday, because he said, someone suffers with ADHD. And I said, I don't suffer with it, I'm blessed with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's not many people who can do what I do. And I even need answers myself. Why am I here? Why am I like this?
Yeah.
Why have I got so much like power? Why me? I ask myself constantly, and like, I know it's easy for you to say because it is, but I don't want to know why. Why? What am I? Why can I make things happen so easy? Why can I tell stories so well? Why can I make people just come on board with me? I don't know why I can do it, but it's a lot of pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's me. It's been chosen to do it, and I accept it. I accept every part of it, but I don't know why.
It's because, as well, the reason you can't accept it, and I'll explain this because a lot of people go through this, it's been extraordinarily ordinary. So, like, for example, if you've got an extraordinary ability and a purpose here on earth, but yet you're very ordinary and you're very down to earth, very normal. So when you're like that and you're in both energies, it's really hard to go, oh God, well, why me? Why not him over there? Or somebody else has done this over there. Why can't they be the one? But it's your life purpose, which is already agreed before you're even on the planet. So before you're even here, this was your destiny. And if you didn't serve out your destiny, parts of you, which some people don't, parts of you just die away. Like your light goes, your passion goes, you just don't want to do anything. And your whole demeanor changes. And so, yes, you can question why you, but why not you?
So
Why
what's
not
my
you?
destiny?
Your destiny, you're going to inspire the masses. You're going to help people that are really struggling with ADHD or thinking that they can't really achieve. You're going to give them that power to believe in themselves and take themselves to the next level and to trust their intuition and actually incorporate it. Because what I was saying to you, like when you started and you became the first millionaire, when you became your first millionaire, it was very much from a different energy. It was a need, a provider wanting to get there. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs do and people that are in this world to make a difference. But then once you're at that point, not the same thing drives you. So people lose their passion, lose their desire. And so for you, you love to see everyone win. Like I've never known anyone want someone to win so much. Like you really cheer everybody on and you see everyone in the highest form. So like you could look at someone and go, no, you're going to do it. No, you'll do this. And just having someone there that believes in you like that, that's like, oh, Thingy says I'm going to do this. Oh, Tommy says I can do this. And that is so powerful. And when you're with someone, and I was going to say this in your intro because you make someone feel so important and you make someone feel valued and like they're your best friend, but you do it to everyone, like, and everyone loves you. And so you're a magnet for people to be able to see what they won't see in themselves. And then if you're with you, you see that in yourself. And so that's very special. That's a rare gift. And that's what you're here to bring to the world. That's why, let me get this right. So on the stages that you did, has everyone been like inspirational? You changed my life. I felt the magic, I felt the goosebumps. I went home and I was so inspired. Is that what the feedback you've
I can
had?
see it.
There's a shock
Yeah,
because you're a change maker.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, I can
Yeah.
feel it when I'm talking as well. I like, even when I speak to people, I've been able to do it for years. I've always been able to do it. I always knew I was different. Always.
So let me go back with this then. So you told me, this is the funny part, right? So you come on the call and you're like, right, I hear you got a message for me. I hear I'm going to be really well known. I'm here, I'm going to be, do you know I'm already famous? I was like, yeah. And you're like, I'm already done well. And I said, yeah, I know, but you're going to be mega, you're going to be huge. And you were like, okay. And so if someone's in that energy and someone's already established, at what point did you realize, did you see that for yourself, like your own future? Because you are psychic.
Yeah, I wanted to step away from the limelight. I don't like and that was always our thing that we used to say. And I'd be like, can we not do it without the big fame bit? And he was like, nope, that goes hand in hand. Like I don't enjoy that part of it, but now I'm doing stuff different. I do. Like when I was known for being on reality TV, I didn't enjoy that sort of fame. Now I'm known as an advocate for mental health and manifesting and making a change. I enjoy that. I don't feel like I've got like just any other fame because I feel like I'm known for a purpose.
Yeah.
So like I'm happy now, but before I always knew that there'll never be a time where I won't be successful. I know I'll always be successful, no matter what. No matter what. Especially now because I've built up even more. But in the past, I always knew that I'd be heavy duty in business and making things happen. But I did see a ceiling of where I was at the time. And I knew that I had to change something. I did know that. I did see that. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So just let me come back to that. So I don't know how, as a psychic, and I want to say this first before we go back to like your first experience with like spirits. But how did you, as a psychic, deal with the fame world? Because, like, I have to say, I think it's dying a death. And I said this to you, didn't I, 2 years ago? I think it's the rise of the real people. And you've heard that first here on my podcast.
Yeah.
Because so many real people are standing forward now. And this idealistic view of people is dying. And I'm quite glad it is, because it isn't normal. It's not healthy. And like giving value is what's healthy. Giving people some hope and inspiration. That's why it feels good to you now.
Mhm.
But going back then, did you use any particular techniques or any kind of your spirituality? Or is that what led you to go a little bit more into
No,
it with all them eyes watching
I
you?
turned it off, to be fair, for the majority
Did
of the
you?
time. Yeah, I did. I turned it off. I feel like that part of my life, I sort of switched the psychic ability off, which is quite easy to do, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it happens
Mm.
until you need it. But I feel like, yeah, I was a different person then. I didn't know what was going on in my life. I was lost for so long, but I was young, so I was alright. But
Yeah.
I turned it off, and I didn't feel like, let's have it right. I'm not a celebrity. I was only on Towies. Like, get over yourself. Fucking
Yeah, but
a reality
you were
TV
well
show.
loved.
Yeah,
You were
but
well
still, it's
loved
like,
and
it's
you're
just a
well
reality
known.
show, innit? It's like, it don't even matter. It was like, it was only when I started getting noticed for doing the good things that I've become a bit different to
Yeah.
any other reality star. Like when I've done the collaboration with Freddie, and I've done quite a lot of things for Grenfell Tower and stuff like that, I started getting well known for different things. And that was when it become a little bit harder for me, because when I was just on Tower, it was like, oh, whatever. But when people actually started getting invested in my life, a lot of people would come and confide in me. A lot of people would be messaging me for stuff and things like that, because they knew I had this different way about me. And I felt that very draining.
But I think you and Georgia on Towie were the most level-headed. Like, you used to give the best advice. You were like the mom and dad. Like, you were. They were like the mom and dad of Towie. And people have come with these dramatic dramas, and you two would just give a very honest, calm perspective. So you were very much who you are at core. And I think you portrayed yourself well.
I think on that show though, it's like we didn't even know what we was talking about. It was kids talking about. Do
course.
you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
mad when I think about it. That part of my life feels so long ago.
You've moved on.
It feels so long ago. I don't even recognise that person.
Yeah.
It's mad.
So were you so you turned it all off, and then prior to when you were put into the spotlight, when was your first psychic experience? Because when you told me, I was like, tell me you're psychic, and then you were like, I'm going to tell you something about you. And you did, and I was like, oh my God, you can really like read. So when was the first time?
When I was 6.
Yeah.
So when I was 6, fucking hell, 26 years ago, my mum had a toothache, but she was like, it was an infection in her root, and if you've ever had one of them, it's one of the worst pains you can have. It's horrendous. It shuts your body down. And I could hear her screaming in the night, praying, and she was praying to because my mum's psychic as well.
Yeah, I can
she was
see
praying
her
to her
eyes.
guardian angel, yeah. But like when I'm saying she was screaming, I could hear her like, ah, ah. My dad weren't about at the time, and it woke me up, and then all of a sudden she stopped, and I thought she had died, because she just stopped. She went from screaming to stop. But then I heard her start like sort of snoring. I could hear her breathing. We lived in a really small house. Me and my brother shared a bedroom, and they was next to us. And I could hear her start like breathing. So I thought, right, she's alive. It's all good. But I was 6. When I think of our old Brody's, who's 4 now, I was only 2 years older than his. I thought to myself, should I go in there and check her? Because it sounds like she's dead, yeah? But then she went, so I thought, no, she's all right. And as she went like that, I see a really piercing blue light just walk through the corridor. And instead of just going past my room, it went past my room, stopped, come back, looked in and went back out. And I'll never forget, it scared the life out of me.
Did you feel negative, or did you feel like just shocked?
I didn't feel, I was petrified. It was the
Yeah.
scariest thing I've ever seen. It was like, it was an outline of a person, and it went past my room, stopped, come in there. I can remember it so clear, even though it was so long ago. Come my room and then went back out. And I'll never forget, I just put the quilt over my head and then just laid there all night. And then I used to sleep with a little torch and have the torch on under my cover. I never used to have my cover at me. Even to this day, I can't have my feet out the back of out the end of my cover.
Did they ever take you from your bed then?
No, what happened was, is after that time, I didn't say anything, but I could feel the presence of something chasing me up the stairs all the time now in my house.
Yeah.
My toilet was downstairs. So I used to go downstairs to have a wee and then I'd have to sprint back up. It was horrendous. And my computer was in my bedroom and it had its back to his door. And I remember when MSN started popping, I'd be on MSN and I could feel things moving behind me. And it was just like,
Yeah, because they hang around like hallways and walkways because it's universal areas. Like.
So I started seeing them from the age of 6. So then I told my mum, and my mum was like, "Oh, no worries." She didn't tell me it weren't real. She took me to a spiritualist church, which would be a load of older people going there, and there'd be a guy on the stage, and he'd be giving readings out. And I'll never forget me walking in there at 6, and then him turning around and going, "Whoa, well, you're gifted." And I was like, like a little blonde kid sitting there, just basically Brody at his size, just a little bit taller. And him saying, which is a bit wrong actually, I can't believe he actually said this to me. Like 6 or 7, him saying, "You're psychic, you've got it all, stay away from the good term girls, you're going to be a womanizer, and stop changing your trainers every single day, you don't need that many pairs."
Oh my God.
And that was at 6.
That's amazing.
6, that was at 6.
Yeah.
And until I was 14, I only had 1 pair of trainers. I had 1 pair for school, which was like black kickers, and I have 1 pair of trainers, which was they was my trainers, and I was obsessed with cleaning them to make sure they were spotless. So even at 14, I still hadn't had a lot of pairs of trainers. So this geezer was 10 years in advance. He told me 10 years advance of who I was going to be. He said, "You're going to be obsessed with trainers. You don't need that many pairs of trainers. Your granddad's telling you don't need that many pairs of trainers. And stay away from the good time girls."
Good advice.
I'm not admitting that part of it, but I admit the trainer part of it. So from that time in my life, I had been told my future. So then I had sort of knew it was true. And then I used to go quite a lot and he would tell me a lot of stuff. But one of them, which was mad, was my uncle's in a band called Madness. Have you heard of Madness?
Yeah.
So my uncle's in Madness and we was backstage at a Madness concert when I think I was about 14, 15. And there was a psychic walking around giving readings. She comes up to me and my brother and she was like, "Wow, you are so wealthy." "You're wealthy? What are you talking about? I've got about a £5 and a Kinder Bueno in my pocket." I was like, "What's wealthy? What are you talking about?"
You're wealthy.
She was like, "You are worldwide going to be established multi-millionaire." And at the time, I'm like 14, probably just had my first beer. And I'm like trying to be a bit cool. I'm like, "Oh, whatever, this fucking lunatic witch over here." And things like that just started working for me. And things that I'd be getting told started coming true. So, because that was so early in my life, that's where I developed that personality of like, I can have whatever I want because I'm destined for it.
Yeah.
And I knew I was special. I knew I was special from the age of 6.
Yeah.
I always knew it. I knew I was different to anyone around me.
And did it not because when I had it, so I was similar to you, I wouldn't let my feet out the bed. And I'd be listening to, because I'm a lot older than you, I'd listen to Kylie and Jason Donovan, and I'd have them all in my headphones in my ears and be singing and doing anything to kind of drown it out.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I'd listen to rave music to go to sleep, so they'd stop talking to me or stop appearing.
Yeah.
Because it just distract you. So music saved me, but I was so scared, and I still have to go back now, because I believe all the lives you live in at the same time. So I go back and I try and talk to myself and say, you're going to be okay. Be worth all the pain. You'll be safe. But did you feel that fear?
I'm still scared now.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
With
yeah.
everything you know?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm not scared, but uncomfortable, breathing down my throat. So there's something in my bedroom that watches me every night.
And have you asked the person
I
who
tell him
is?
to fuck off constantly. He's doing my nutting at the minute. But I don't like sleeping by myself.
Yeah.
And I don't like the dark either. I'm scared of the dark. Which is mad, isn't it? Considering the life I've lived and the things I've seen, is mad. I'm scared of the dark and sleeping in the dark. I don't like hotel rooms.
Same.
And I have to have the blinds up and the window open in my room. So I could feel a bit of nighttime and the light coming from wherever it is. And I have to sleep facing the spirit, not away from it, because I can feel it breathing down my neck.
Yeah.
So I have to sometimes sleep with a pillow over my head. If it's just me in the bed, because I go to bed so early, I'd go asleep, and if I'm facing that way, If I've eaten late, because you've got acid on one side of your belly, which burns your food away. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And that's why you start feeling like thingy. So sometimes I have to like lay a certain way. And if I do, I have to cover myself over and put a pillow over my head because there's something breathing down my neck.
So don't you put your selenite wand next to your bed?
Because don't that attract more?
No, it cleanses it.
Like I'll row with them. Like I'm like, mate, fuck off.
Yeah, but Tommy, right, I know you do speak like that, so you are only being you, but if you can imagine, what if that was a really old lady that was coming to nurture you? You wouldn't tell her, if there was a really old lady now walking in here, you wouldn't say that
If an
to
old
her.
woman come get my bed at 4 a.m, breathe down my neck, I would tell her to fuck off. Yes, I would do.
Would you
I'm
really?
unapologetically exactly the same. If I was asleep and some old woman started breathing down my neck at 3, 4 a.m. in the dark, I'm not gonna go. Excuse me, can you go? I'd to be honest with you. What? No, I'm not going to say what I'd do, but I wouldn't be just swearing at her. She'd be getting dragged out of the room. Hold on a minute. Listen, this is the difference, and this is what your viewers need to understand of what you think's normal to normal people. You think it's normal, an old woman breathing down my neck in the night.
Yeah.
Is it fuck breathing down my neck? I'm like, get away from me. It's night time.
Yeah, but
I'm fighting the world, and now you're breathing down my neck. So now, depending where I am in my life, especially from meeting you, I feel like I've accepted it. I've got a few people. I've got another lady called Julie, yeah? From Manchester. She's amazing. And
introduce us.
Yeah, she taught me about like the water and stuff like that, and she introduced me to Palo Santo, and she explained to me about my gift years ago, right? And since meeting her, and I've also got Sarah, who's the lady who left the citrine in my room. But everyone's come around me at different times in my life, and I feel like so I've grown more and more and more with it. But sometimes when I've been in really bad times, sometimes I'd say fuck off and get out my room. But then other times I'd be like, just touch me if it's going to be all right. Just touch my neck. Just give me a little flick of the ear or something to just let me know that, because I can't go through this no more. There's been times when I've done that. And I'm like, look, if you're actually there, because I don't know how I'm going to get through tomorrow, you need to give me a sign now. And a lot of the times I'll get the signs, or I'd get a little tap on the shoulder while I'm in bed, and then I feel sweet about it.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, the geezer in my room now is a pest.
Yeah. But you shouldn't have them in your room, so it's all about boundaries and stuff. Like I went out for dinner with my husband.
Katie, I didn't invite him.
You what?
I didn't just invite some fucking ghost
No,
into my room.
I know.
He's there.
I know.
I can't get rid of this geezer.
But this is, right, so what I'm going to tell you now makes sense. So it's boundaries. You've got to be very clear that when you go to bed and close off your energy, and I keep telling you this, you've got to close off, you've got to fully close down and just put your boundaries in place. Like, they're not allowed to. But there's certain ways to do it. Like, I know you do swear and you would speak like that, but I don't know, there's certain ways, like techniques and practices. So what I would say is that sometimes they do override that. So I was in the pub the other night having dinner, and this pub was awful. And I walked in and I was like, oh God, it was one of them where you couldn't leave because everyone's looking at you. And so I sat down and I was on my phone on TikTok just looking for holidays. Husband had gone to the toilet, come back. And then all of a sudden I felt this hand like go up my leg like this. And I was like, I jumped. And I felt this intense heat. And so there was a male, literally I could see the outline of him, sat next to me, spirit, rubbing my leg. I was fuming. I was like you, fuming.
Is he good looking?
No, little old man. I was like, right, Matt, I said, we're leaving. And he was going, what? I said, we're leaving, drink your drink, we're going. And he's like, what? And I was, because he's not spiritual, my husband, at all. And he was going, what? And I said, we're leaving. I said, there's a man trying to touch my leg here and we're leaving. And he went, there's no one there. I said, no, it's a ghost. So we need to leave. And he's going, but I've just got a drink. And I was like, well, down it, we're leaving. So
leave it to him.
I literally walked out and walked off. So I do know there's some areas where even with the best protection, they still get through if it's like a persistent one. But you can say, I don't want to be woken up. And
he don't wake me up. He's fine once I've got to sleep.
Yeah, so they don't wake. Yeah, but even in the room, I mean, that's not nice for you to go to sleep and know they're there.
This one's all right. It's weird. It's like, I've had this since I was 6. So I'm used to it. I'm used to being annoyed by spirits breathing down my neck. Like, I'm used to that. But I can switch off, and I know how to switch off from ones who actually come to me with messages.
Yeah.
So like, I've got 2 people who come to me very often for messages for people. One of them's her brother, who I communicate with all the time.
Yeah.
And one of them is someone else who we both know as well. And it's her dad who comes through to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll send her a text and be like, listen, I don't know what this red tractor is and why you're sitting on it, but so-and-so says this. And she was like, wow, the timing of it. So I like things like that. And then if I don't give the message they're trying to give me, they don't go away until I give the message. It just keeps repeating themselves. And I think because of my ADHD, it pisses me off more than it would a normal person. So I'm like, stop repeating yourself. I'll give the message. Just wait. I'm trying to work out.
Aren't they?
You're relentless. Stop it. And that's the feeling I get with spirit. So that's why I do switch off quite a lot, because for you, you can say, yeah, you can zone out and you can think, I don't know how to do that because my mind don't switch off.
No, I know.
So
it's very different.
When you get the selenite and go like that, you know, when me and you, do a reading.
Yeah.
And you've got you should trademark, by the way, you've got hey, and you've also got, we're in the field and you're so lovely and you're so protected and you're so calm and your legs are swinging back and forward, back and forward, and you're going to feel my energy coming in and grabbing your hand right now. You're going to feel my warm energy coming through. Everything's safe. And I'm going to ask to the left from your guardian angels to come in, and from the right, I'm going to open the gates to the spirit. And as you're doing it, your eyes are shut and I'm looking at you.
I know.
My eyes ain't shut this whole time. I am watching you. And I am not listening to it. Because I've got like house music in that ear. Like this going on there. And I'm just looking at you like that. And I'm thinking, oh, bless her. It's the closest you can get to watching someone sleep. You're just like, with your eyes shut, you're just so like, you just mean so well. And you think my eyes are shut and I'm listening to you, but I'm not.
I know.
And then when you open your eyes, I go, okay, I had my eyes open. You went, I know.
I know, but it's more for me to connect into you.
I know, but it's just like I can't switch off. But considering I can't, I feel like I do so well to connect and I get so many good messages.
You do it in another way, and that's right. And that's the thing. So psychic abilities, you're not meant to everyone be a medium. Everyone's not meant to read. You're meant to use it in other capacities.
Yeah.
But I think it's been sent to you for your change maker, so that when you're serving the masses, you can know what that audience needs. Like you've walked in, like Tommy, I won't be ashamed to say, he's my first ever guest here, and what a privilege. But I was nervous because I've not interviewed anyone before. You are my first ever one. But you knew that, and you knew exactly what to say to get me to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's a psychic ability, that's a skill, and that's used in different capacities, and you're using it in a very different way.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just,
I feel like since I've really opened up and accepted it, my vision is clearer than ever. I still have the same vision. I still know where I'm going. I'm still standing in this same shop in Miami, which, by the way, we've just got the order to launch into soon.
oh my God, I've got so much to catch up on.
Yeah, I still feel that my gut feeling is crazy. Like even to the point of when I've been through like litigation, and I know when enough's enough, which most people don't. But I know times. I know exactly when to stop. I know exactly what's around the corner. I'll be sitting there and I'll go, like, even before the tariffs come from Trump, we had the delivery about to leave. I was like, something's not right with that delivery. Let's get the stuff out of the store. And I'll do it. And then Trump's tariffs will get announced the next day.
Right.
Like bits and pieces, which not only like people think that being spiritual can help you to find out whether you're going to find love or look in the past to keep trying to communicate with people who are not there no more. Mine is literally part of my manifestation. It is mad. I don't just feel manifesting, I can see it. I can literally see and touch it. And I think by being psychic is obviously given me that ability to do that. And I think it's really important for anyone who is open, who wants to do better, to find someone like you who can hold their hands during times of uncertainty. Because it does come for anyone. I don't care how successful or how talented you are. It happens. You're always going to get it. No matter who says they don't, it happens. There's a feeling of, have I made the right decision? Are things going to go wrong? How about my bills? And I can't look at you when you say this, but you piss me off so much, Katie, sometimes. So much when I ring you and I feel like everything's going and I'm losing it all.
I know.
And you go, it's all going to be all right. And I go, she fucking tells me everything's going to be all right. One more time, my house is up for sale. I've got no money. I'm being sued. I've fucked this. I've done that. And you're telling me everything's going to be fucking all right.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what? He was right.
Yep. And then I get a phone call a few minutes later. do you know this has just happened? I went,
Everyth-
I know, everything's going to be fine.
everything's been all right.
Everything's gonna be fine.
And I think you need to find the balance in your life that not everything's going to be perfect, and there's going to be times where you're going to be put against it, but that's where the growth is. And if I didn't find you and take the jump to where I wouldn't have become who I am today.
No.
And I thought I was someone that I wasn't. I personally feel like I was a fraud to a certain extent, because I had a vision and I had this beautiful like gift, which I weren't using to the full capacity, because I was worried about losing things that was man-made around me, which was items, which I think was a bad choice of mine. Where when I let go and really said, do you know what, I'm going to go for this because it's bigger. And this is about telling my story, and this is about inspiring, this is about opening up and becoming who I'm actually meant to be. Even though it's been a hard journey, and it's been one that I won't forget, I would never have been able to be who I am today without that. So I think that's really important, to make sure that you do sometimes in life let go. Because if you don't let go and just see where it takes you, you're just going to stay there.
Yeah, which is what I think is perfect about what you're building now with Citrine. It's also the manifestation, because you don't just think it's down to spirit and psychic. You believe as well that you're in the driving seat, and you've got to actually direct that ship, and you've got to work together with your guides, with the laws of the universe, and your own personal free will and what's right for you. And you've got to ride that storm together. And that's exactly what you've mastered. And you needed to master all those three qualities, which most people don't work with. They either work with manifestation, they work with spirit on their own, or they're just reactive to what life's thrown at them. But when you combine all three together, that's the truth, that's the pathway, that's the key that everyone's looking for.
It feels right. It feels like, if you think about it, and you put the timeline together of how things work, So what happened if you was drawn to someone to guide someone and give them a message from their guides, who didn't have the capacity and get up and go to make things happen? It would have been a complete waste. Like, fate is such a beautiful thing. It's like we was meant to be exactly where we are, and we still are to this day. Because imagine going to someone and saying, all right, cool, you're worth a hefty chunk of money, probably going to lose it because it's nowhere near worth where you're going to be. Are you willing to do it or not? Anyone else will go, shut up. What lunatic pulls a knife out and starts cutting a trainer up and actually jumps on board with it?
I know.
What, honestly, when I think
about it, what a
person, nutter. Imagine that.
A successful person.
Being worth millions. And yes, I'm being unhappy, but then just saying, do you know what? I'm going to actually give everything to this and see where this takes me. That's what I'm proud of. Over the last few years, is because I could have been a sellout and just not accepted what I was destined to do and just sat there and just counted some money, but I didn't.
You'd have been capped, and you would never have felt like you'd reached your full potential. You'd have always felt something's missing. And what I love about what's happened on your journey over the past couple of years, because it's been a bit of a roller coaster to say the least, and I think you've done it justice here, and you've done it justice. You've told the truth. You've told exactly how it was. But the emotion side, I don't think anyone can grasp what that actually was like for you.
And I don't think I'll ever be able to speak about it.
I don't think you can articulate it in words.
No, I can't. And do you know what? But one thing I've got to say is I'm not one bit hard done by, and I'm not the victim in this.
But what I love is the duality of life. So during all of these things that have gone on and all that hardship, you had the most beautiful things happen at the same time. Like, you married the love of your life. Brody and you become closer than ever, and you built I know you were close anyway, but you really bonded.
Yeah, we have.
You became close with your friends and family. You were able to be there with Georgia through tough times, and you were able to then welcome a little princess into the world. Like, your life was so duality, like so yin and yang, wasn't it? And it was like all these beautiful gifts were sent to you along the way to go, we know you're going through a hard time. We really appreciate you being a change maker. So here's a gift. And then here's another gift. It was like to keep you going.
Yeah, it's just when you're in the mix of it, you don't look at it like that. And
no.
That's why you sometimes need someone to just pull you through certain situations where it doesn't matter how strong you are and how successful and how talented you are. you will come across that, and sometimes you need to just have someone just to say it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Even if the response is going to be, "Oh, go away now. You're telling me everything's going to be all right all the time, and this ain't happening." You still need that. It's important. And do you know what? Especially today, I promise you now, I have zero part of my body that feels hard done by about what's happened with me. I feel completely amicable with my split. I feel I'm left to pursue something else. And we both wish each other so well. And I think to be able to do that is amazing. There's not many people can do that. And I think we can both do that and go on to the next level now. And I do feel like the next year for me is going to be
incredible. But I don't know how you couldn't wish that part of your life well, because it was so positive in so many ways.
It was. No, it was. But when you're living it, it's hard.
Yeah, I know that when you're living it, it's hard. But me knowing you and connecting to you, you are like that, because that gave you life. That made you in so many ways. It allowed your creativity to flow, and it'll always mean so much to you. It'll always be on your heart. And the people that are around you at that time will always be a place in your heart in a positive way.
I just hope that everyone learns from it. That's what I want, is just to be able to teach now to people not to make the same mistakes. Because I made so many mistakes, so many crucial mistakes that cost lots of money. And that's what people don't understand. They just see the outset of it and go, "Oh, that guy's such a success." I've made more success than I've more mistakes than I've wins.
Yeah.
Like really bad mistakes of doing the wrong thing, the wrong place, the wrong time, saying the wrong stuff, causing myself misery. I've brought so much of it on myself. But I wouldn't change it for the world.
Not many people are doing up to that.
Oh yeah, of course. But listen,
a lot of people don't, do they?
I've got no one to.
I'll give you credit there.
Look how I'm dressed. Like, this is how I dress every day. Like, I'm so peaceful within myself. I can't. I'm accept everything now. I've full accept everything. I don't have to look back no more, because I've accepted it all. Everything's done, and everything's past. I have nothing to prove. I've proved it all once. But me trying to prove things to everyone held me back. We've had the conversation. This ain't time to prove things to people. It's time to go and make it really happen.
But you want inner peace. So you've got inner peace, haven't you? And from inner peace now, it's like, how can I give back to other people? That's your energy. How can I grow this brand even more? How can I give it the justice? And do you know what I love about this? So I was, sorry to flip the subject here, but you've just literally, they've took me to Selfridges. So I was walking around Selfridges in London, and I love my designers. So I was walking around all the designer sections, and I thought, why is there not one crystal or one spiritual item in any of this? Yet manifestation is off the scale. And yet here comes the change maker, walks in, and he's like, "You're very fashionable. You love your fashion. I know you said you dress down, but you love dressing up, don't you?" And it's like, I'm going to change fashion, and I'm going to make it fashionable with the manifestation. And that's what you've done with Citrine, because they're so stylish and they're so sleek. And like, there's going to be people looking for that. Like, everyone's into manifestation now. It's really coming out into the world. It's only going to get bigger. And you are, again, the change maker, the pioneer at the start of it. Yeah. And that is just like phenomenal to be that change.
Do you know what we've done with it, which no one's done before? I think people have been using gemstones for centuries, yeah? Thousands of years in art, fashion, everything. Chinese emperors used to have it in their hats, yeah? But I'm the first person.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because to stop bad thoughts, and also to aid with snake bites, because it says it aids with venom.
Ah, okay.
I'm the first person to merge fashion and spirituality, but with the right intentions. So people have done it to put crystals maybe on some buttons and stuff like that. But I've literally put them together with the intention of them to, number one, make you feel better about yourself. Number two, to remind you why you started. And number three, to give you the same feeling that I felt when I was coming through bad times in my life and finding the light. And that's why it's so important for me to keep storytelling. And if it weren't for me going through the hard parts of it, I wouldn't be able to tell a story. No. So I would just be another multi-millionaire trying to sell you a course on how to get rich. It don't work, does it? I'm like, look, you could look 6 months ago when I had zero. I'm probably going to be back on 1 million in the next 6 months.
Easy.
So I've become a millionaire in 6 months again for the second time.
I reckon you can do it in 3.
I think I've already done it. I'm going to be honest
See?
with you.
There you go.
But it's like, even though, look, yeah, the money's nothing. The money's nothing to me. It doesn't matter. The money's man-made. The money can cause problems as much as it can give you loads of
Freedom
fun.
that everyone thinks it can give
It's
you.
so much. It can bring so much shit. And I said this yesterday. Yeah, is a match can keep you warm and cook you food, but it can also burn down your house and kill you. It's a tool that you can use for good and evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't use it as my driving force no more. But what I can do is show you is if I get questions of why do you think this works? Well, 6 months ago, I was selling my property. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I had no way out of this. Fast forward now, I'll probably be a millionaire in the next 2 months.
Duality of life.
So I can tell you it works. I've done it. I proved to you that it's doable. I've done it before and I've done it the hard way both times. I weren't given it. I had... to the point of 3 months ago or 6 months ago, I was selling every asset that I owned. The only asset that I've been able to hold on to is my house, which still now is like, it's not got much in it, but I've fought through with the help of the right people I've got around me who have really stepped up. And there's not a lot of us. There's a few of us, as you know, and we've gone out and done it. So when I'm on that stage, and I'm sitting there and I'm telling you, you can't look at me no more and go, what the fuck does this guy know? He's just a reality TV star. I'm not. No. I'm someone that's overcome diversity, who's come from an area where things like this don't happen to kids like us. Yeah. And I've made it happen and I've give it my all. And it's the second time now. I hope I ain't got to do it a third and prove it that again, but it feels special now. Today feels very special.
And it feels the intention's very powerful behind it as well. Like, because when you actually put on the shoes, like the trainers, you've got like numbers on them. You've got like angel numbers on them, which is huge. Like, I love angel numbers. And I actually, like, when I put them on, I didn't expect to feel as much as what I did because I'm closed off when I'm running around shopping, etc. But whenever I walk, so I've got them in 2 colours, as you know, and I've got the hats, I've got everything. Love it, love the brand. And I wore your trainers. Like, I did a little experiment. I didn't tell you because you were in a bit of a grump with me at the time.
She buys the trainers, you know?
Yeah, I do.
She actually goes and buys the trainers. It's mad, isn't it? And she puts them on Instagram. And I message her, go off my head. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, don't do that. And she buys them all the time. No. Literally supports it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I wouldn't ever expect anything like that. So I put the trainers on and I'm walking around at the highest income in my business in 8 years. Highest income month.
Mad.
Highest income. Mad. And like, obviously I did manifestation, I did intention, I did all the things, but it was ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. So I brought my husband a pair. He's not into crystals at all. You know, I didn't tell him that he didn't even look. He just went, oh yeah, they're a nice beige colour. They'll go with my shorts. He wore them and he's wore them for what now? God, how long? You can check when I brought them. Yeah. Probably about 4 months, right? So he wore them. And he's been in the same job, right? Working really hard. He's climbed the corporate ladder for what, 20 years maybe? And in that company, probably 12, he's made partner.
No way.
He's been made
congratulations.
Partner. He's been made partner.
Amazing.
Like, and obviously he'll say, well, because he's a bit of a skeptic, well, I worked for so many years to get there. But he said to me, he went, I love these trainers. And he wore them in Dubai desert and ruined them. And he's going...
it was worth it for the picture, though.
Exactly, it was. And it's the picture. Yeah, the footprints. Yeah. And he was like, he said, I need another pair. And I said, there's a crystal in the bottom of them that helps you manifest and bring in abundance. And he went, oh. So he's going, well, I just think they're the comfiest things I've ever worn in my life.
It's mad,
so he said he feels different in them, and that is a skeptic. So, but the intention, you can feel the minute you open the box, you can feel the brand's different. I can feel you're not trying to sell me something. Like, I can just feel powerful in them.
I don't feel connected to it. And this is the mad thing, is like, so look, I've got a pair of flip-flops on now, yeah? And these flip-flops have got a crystal in them as well.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes through, right?
I'll be honest, I can't wear that style.
Why?
It's just not me.
Yeah, well, these are to make sure that I've got crystals on me constantly.
They're on trend.
We've got running trainers now. We're doing everything, right?
Love the trainers.
And for me, is when someone comes and tells me, like, some of the things about how much money they've earned wearing our products. It ain't nothing to do with me. No, it's nothing full on.
And it's not what the brand's representing.
The credit isn't to me.
Yeah.
I just literally, it happened to me and I felt good. So I've made it to share it with everyone else. And what you do is for you. I don't have anything to do with it. And I've become obsessed with Trustpilot. I'm absolutely obsessed with it because it's the only place where people can actually write really how they feel about the brand. And normally you have a load of comments of people saying, warm, my foot or the box of shit. Our comments are like people saying they went for a job, they got the job that they've been trying to get for 3 years, they've earned them more money, they've got this and that, and it's something that it just makes the story so much better, doesn't it? Because people all can come to me, real people, real experiences. So I feel like we're gonna go far, Katie. I feel like this is just the start of it, and we've got so many times that obviously I want you to co-host with me, even though you swerved me for my first event.
I mean, it's Ben, I'm not here. He's going, could you come to the first event? I was like, I can't.
I feel like we need to get around and we need to tell people more of like.
You know what you need to tell people, which is what you've mastered, which is the manifestation, the spirituality, and the desire for more, the desire to just accept your purpose. That's what people need to know. People need to know their purpose. They need to know about manifestation and how they can actually embrace spiritual techniques to combine everything together. You are the perfect spokesperson for that.
Yeah, and it feels natural.
Yeah.
It feels normal.
Do you think you've become a little bit fearless? Be honest.
Honestly, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you seem now like, I can deal with anything.
It's absolutely dangerous. There is they'll tell you there. I'm actually quite hard work to be around now. Do you think any rules will apply for me now?
Never did.
No, not to about that now though. I'm just like, I'm ag. I'm like,
You've got the best team around you, I have to say.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
They see, I feel bad for them because they see the bad parts of me. You see the good parts. They see the bad parts. They see the ups and downs and they supported me for it. But they also see the points where they can probably see in front of me that is not going to end good if you do it. And I'm going to go, they can go and fuck themselves. I'm doing it anyway. So like, I have become fearless, but to the point is because when you've been through things and you've lost it all and got it back and lost it all and got it back, it's not as bad as you think.
And you've survived it.
It becomes a bit of a game.
It
feels like a bit of a game. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life normal.
What are you actually going to... Have you got any idea what you're going to buy?
Money-wise?
I'm
going to be honest
with you.
So,
you're very easy. You're very stripped back now.
This is going to really, really, really be weird to anyone else. I don't want anything.
That's what I was going to say. What are you going to do with it?
Nothing. I don't want anything. Like, nothing makes me happier than driving down the road and seeing someone who I'm attracted to stop in a car and giving them loads of money.
Oh, I love that.
Nothing,
Mr. Beast does that.
But I've been doing that since a kid. Like, I used to take my shoes off and give them to people as a kid who needed them. And that is what I get my kicks from. I don't care about any designer clothes. I don't care about any statements. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. My house is nice enough. The only thing I want to do in my life is send my kids to a good school and create. I don't care about the money. I've had everything. There's nothing. Look, I'm 32. I have lived a life of 10 men.
I literally said that to our producer yesterday.
He's
lived 10 lives and I don't actually know what else he could desire.
There's nothing else I desire. I've had everything. I've had everything and I've desired peace. To an extent. I love travelling. I love being, for me, money, it's going to sound bad. Have I got a second left to tell a story on this camera?
Yeah, fair enough.
This is going to sound really arrogant and shit, yeah? People find the way they've express themselves and feel good is through designer clothes, and I've been that person. I don't care about that. I used to be that guy that went Louis Vuitton and spent money on bags. Da 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 da. Do you know what my biggest flex is?
Go on.
Honest. Driving my car and being able to park it and not too worried about getting a parking ticket. Not worried about getting too many miles on it because I'm going to get a fine. Not worried about doing things wrong and not feeling part of society. And that's what I feel like money takes me to, because I just feel like I've got a free spirit. That is what I crave. But
I feel like I've always been like that when I had no money. So I park where I like, which is terrible. Don't really. And my husband's like, you live in another world, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah. I love that, but as a businessman, obviously numbers are my thing. So I need to make sure that things will work. But just being able to say, you know what, like, if someone's struggling, I'll pay your credit card bill off. Someone died, I'll pay for the funeral. Someone's going through treatment, I can pay for that. That has always been the thing that's been my
So it
force.
brings you joy to give to
Always,
others.
always. I feel like fashion and buying expensive stuff to please other people is a dark part of the life. Gonna be honest. And I know you're a psychic and you do it, but I'm not saying you're dark. It's just what you do. Women do it. Georgia loves Chanel. You know what she's like.
Yeah.
For me, it's just not like I honestly just love.
I understand what you're saying. And for me, I'm surprised that you're like that in a sense, because for me it's the quality of it. Like, it's the material. It's not, oh, look at me, I've got this. Because I'm from Birmingham, you can't, as you've seen earlier, you can't walk around with things. But it's more the quality of how it feels.
Gone past it.
And it's the clairsentient in me.
I've
Like,
gone past it.
I can feel the fabric. I can feel like it just feels nice.
When I was fat wearing expensive clothes, I still didn't feel good then.
When were you ever fat?
I was fat before. I wasn't happy in myself. So I used to wear 2-3 grand jumpers and I still didn't feel good. Now I can wear a t-shirt from a charity shop and I'll feel good in myself. That for me is so
it's the
that's just the
inside.
inside. And it's being able to get there. It's being able to live on my own terms. It's being able to eat the right food. Like me and the people around me, like, how do we celebrate a deal? We go and buy a green juice and find cookies and Kinder Bueno milkshakes and Oreo milkshakes. That is what we do. I swear to you, that is what we are in tune to do together.
That's so cute.
And me and the other day, me and E was in a shop, right? And me and Ian met through wearing designer clothing. Like we've loved it for all our lives, yeah. And Ian's going, what do you think of them? What do you think of this? And they're like, shorts are like £300. I looked at him, I said, fuck it, I'm not changing these clothes until I'm 5 mil. This is my uniform now. I'm not changing. I'm either going to have a citrine tracksuit on or a pair of these shorts, this t-shirt and these socks. And that is it until I hit 5 million again. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's just who I've become. And I don't know how it happened because I was so into fashion, but now I just don't care. It's like I've become like an urban hippie and I don't know how it happened. Honestly, it's mad. It's mad.
Since our phone call.
No, it is. Yeah. You brought me to a lot of the place, Katie, because I'm surprised you're shocked. Like, I'm like this and I'm so laid back.
It's because of I know you're laid back, but it's more because of the material. Because, like, I know you like have an appreciation for like comfort and things. And I don't mean luxury. I mean like just nice quality t-shirts and things. But you've got...
That's not quality to me no more. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, you can create your own.
I can make my own. It's weird, isn't it? I understand. Look, fashion was the driving sense for my success. Fashion for me made me who I am. Like, fashion, it made me want to be successful so I could dress. But then I just felt like I'm just at this different stage. And I feel like you really did help me get there. I'm at a different stage of peace now.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Nothing better for me than I wake up in the morning, I go gym, I'm with my people who I love mad around me. I only have people I've got mad love for. Look, I can be myself around. And for the first time in my whole life, I can be around people and do what the fuck I want. I can burp, I can burp, I can burp, I can fart, I can like have my feet up, I'll go and have a sleep in the office and like, I just feel so comfortable for the first time in my life and I don't want to be any different. And that's why I love Mallorca. I wear the same shorts and flip-flops and I just exist and I just feel so good. And that's where I am.
Do you know what I've come to realise in all my years? And this will end everything lovely now for you because I think you've got to this point. The most richest thing you can have in this lifetime is inner peace.
Honestly, it is beautiful.
Isn't it?
I could cry saying it. I could, honestly, because when I went and sat down with this psychiatrist about my ADHD and what I thought was depression, he was a psychiatrist and he looked at me and he was like, yo, you're a little bit fucked up. I'm so surprised that you are where you are because you got a lot of inner demons, man. And he was very spiritual for a psychiatrist, this guy.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to put you on tablets. He said, but that's not what you need. And he said, what do you need? So I need to fucking be successful and I need to have money and anything. And he just looked at me and he went to me, yeah, you need to find inner peace. Peace comes from within. And that
Yeah.
was 2021 that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm so unapologetic myself, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm happy. I wake
love
up
that.
happy and I feel amazing like all the time. We went and tried a suit on for the wedding the other day, and I was kicking off about it, and Ian looked at me and went, "Do you know why you don't feel good in that suit?" I went, "Why?" He went, "Because you forgot how to get dressed." I fully forgot how to get dressed. It's mad. I feel good. I
That's
feel good.
good.
I feel like
Inner peace.
I've got inner peace, and with this inner peace, for me to go and build this business is what I needed. And you did tell me that. You said I needed to go to Mallorca and I needed to go and create and I
Yeah.
need to go and find it. So now I've got it. Don't tell me about designer clothing and how they feel, because you made me get like this in the first place. Yeah. I feel like I can really, really just concentrate on what I need to do in front of me with no distraction. I feel amazing.
That's good. That's exactly what we want. And if there's one wish that you could give every one of our listeners, would it be inner peace? Is that what you would want for mankind?
Look, I like inner peace today because I've just come out the back of a 2-year litigation. I still like having ag. I still like being on my toes. I enjoy fighting. I really enjoy it.
Do you?
I love it. I enjoy having something to get out of bed for in the mornings, and if it comes to me having problems and I have to go through it, I don't care. If you say to me you've got to cross that bridge and underneath you there's a load of crocodiles and it might break, but on the other side there's something that's going to give you growth, you're going to go over it. Yes, I fucking am. I'll go for it.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is being able to identify how inner peace feels and being able to make it part of your journey. So I'll say, I'm going to have 6 months of really bad, whatever this is, but I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive to Spain and I'm going to be in inner peace then. That for me is I want everyone to be able to feel that. Because you don't have to be sitting there zen every day, because it don't suit everyone.
You know, when you were going through some of the darkest times, I said to you, you're supposed to feel all the emotions in life.
Yeah.
You're supposed to feel happy, sad, on the edge, because that's living. That's life. You're meant to feel every single moment, embrace it all.
Yeah.
And you did. You're like, yeah, I am, but I'm having a moment. I'm like, yeah, you allowed your moments,
Yeah.
feel it. But I love that what's running through you now is a river of inner peace. That's just, that's given me peace.
I don't feel like I need to apologise to anyone. I never will. For who I am. For who I am, yeah. And that's what society does do. You constantly feel like you're not good enough. You constantly feel like you need to be as good as everyone else. You're constantly seeing what everyone else has got. You're constantly comparing yourself to people. And I always said comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And I always preached about it to people, but until lately when I actually understand it. I can have the worst day ever and I go home and I look at my little girl and I'm like, that is what life is. So yeah, I'm forever thankful for what you've done for me, Kate. I won't forget it.
You're a friend for life.
Yeah, I'll pay it forward. Honestly, I will.
love that you call me sister sometimes as well.
Yeah, sister. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sister, it's brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Tommy. This has been absolutely amazing, and what a privilege to have you as my first guest. But who else could it have been? Who else could it have been? Couldn't have been anyone else. Thank you.
You absolutely smashed it as well. I think that I don't know, maybe it's because of the psychic part where you just feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You end up saying something you don't want to say to her. Be careful next guest, yeah?
You do forget, don't you?
She'll channel in your head. She'll tell you, you're not giving her your bank details.
And a Chanel bag. So can I ask you, sorry it's actually pink, but think, Gigi.
I like pink.
So, yeah, if you can hold that, and I want you to kind of give it a little bit of intention. So we're going to ask, this is for our listeners, we do it at the end of every episode. And I literally want you to give it out to all the listeners. And so just think, you love to spread positivity. I want you to...
You already put intention on this.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it.
It's got my energy all over it.
I need to get it out of my chest, though, wait.
What, my energy?
No, just like, it's good. It's good. It's just...
Can you feel it?
Yeah, it's really strong.
So it's forces of the highest good in intention of purity and light. And then I want you to actually give a message out to people. The intention with the feather.
Is this a real feather?
All right, it's from China. Just you to notice.
What my intentions are. don't know. It's got a lot of energy on this feather for me, you know. Really,
It's been in my office.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Is this behind you?
No, it's in the drawer next to me, but it's been to a few of my live events.
Stick true to your faith, because the things that you're really scared about happening, when you actually go through them and you've got faith, they're never as bad as you actually think. And when you come out the other side from it, take the lessons and live by them. That's what I've learned. And no matter how tough it's going to get, you need to just sometimes just give it your all and believe that it's the best thing that will ever happen to you. And all of the times you fall down, get back up and remember how it felt, take the lessons and then spread it.
Love that.
That's what I want to do.
Perfect. Love it. And that's exactly what you're doing. So pop it in your palm now, in your right palm, and then just gently blow it out. Ready?
I want to try and get to stand up with that.
You're asthmatic as well. You're going to have to give it a good... Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.